Good morning. It's Friday. That means it's Talk to a Farmer Friday because we're hitting the 10 o'clock or 10 o'clock, the 9:30 hour. And to that point, I usually do the lives at 10 o'clock, but we've decided to go 9:30 just because of how busy and crazy our schedule is. But today we're continuing our series on farmer rancher hunters, and today I'm interviewing Ben Menges, a rancher here in Arizona, and he's got all sorts of great stories to tell. So hang on so that I can bring my rancher in. Comfort of my office, and I believe Ben's probably at his office as well. Hi, Wendy. Thanks for joining us. Farmer Ty, thanks for joining us. There's Ben. Hi, Ben. How are
Hey,
you?
how you doing, Julie?
I'm doing well. Thank you. It's been a whirlwind of activities. I just saw you, what, now it's been about a week or two ago, and we were
Yeah,
doing tours and
I know. And now we got Farm Bureau annual meeting
yeah,
coming up, Arizona Farm Bureau.
yeah. So, in fact, I'm doing two of these today because of schedules and the fact that both of you could only do today. And then in between, sandwiched in between, is this meeting. It's kind of a lunch and learn for media and also some of our sponsor partners. We're releasing our new number. So when you
Oh,
get,
wow.
yeah, the new economic number. So when you get to the annual meeting next week, you'll get firsthand knowledge of all that fun stuff. So
Awesome.
that's why everybody needs to be a Farm Bureau member, because we share pretty exciting stuff on a regular basis.
Yeah, those economic numbers they come in handy when talking to
They
anyone, but
did.
especially legislators or politicians, they
Yeah.
need numbers to back up some of the things that you're saying. So
Yeah.
thank you.
So we're pretty exciting. Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock, George Frisvold and his economic team are going to present. So we're quite
Oh,
excited.
great.
But today we're doing it for the media, and it's embargoed. On Tuesday, they can start talking about it as well. But anyway, how's little Ivy doing?
Oh, she's great. Yeah, she does something really funny now when you go like this with your lips, she'll
Uh-huh.
take her pacifier and hand it to you.
I love it. She's a doll.
Yeah,
And
so
you know what? She's such a good sport. You had her all day, and it was so fun. So many of the there were three couples in our group, and all the women rotated turns holding little Ivy when you had her, and it was just precious. She's a
oh
sweet.
yeah.
I
She's
trust it.
happy as long as you're giving her attention. But when you set her there to entertain herself, she can't do that. So you have to hold her all the time.
She is precious. Well, you and Ashley have a beautiful baby, and
Thank
it's
you.
it's going to be a special Christmas this year because when they're little like that, it's
Oh
just
yeah.
magical.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to
yeah.
it.
Well, and I think I see Ashley on. Ashley, I just felt so blessed to spend the whole day last week or the week before with little Ivy, and she is so precious.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, okay. So we're going to talk about hunting, and Ben, you volunteered as well to be one of my guests at this. And we're actually going to do this series through the end of January, by the way, because I've got so many of you and we've got so many important things to learn about hunting and know why hunting's important and all of those important things. So for those that have joined us, this is the series about farmer rancher hunters. And not only sometimes just the hunting, but several of the, especially ranchers that I know are also guides. Ben, I don't know if you do that, but it's pretty cool. We've got uh, Phil Bravo. He's a tracker kind of uh, hunter guide type of person. And then this afternoon, the individual that I'm interviewing, his name is Tim Downs. He's kind of known in the hunter circles because he'll go and help track for different individuals. And then, of course, he does his own hunting. He's not a farmer rancher, but he works with a lot of ranchers. And that's one of the questions we're going to talk about today. So, again, thank you for those, all of you that have joined. This is a live session with Ben Menges, my rancher, and the second of the series that we're doing on farmer rancher hunters. So first question for you, Ben, how did you get inspired to hunt? And what are some of your hunts that you've done? I know you shared a couple, an elk hunt. I don't know if that was a recent one, maybe this season, and then also a lion hunt. So talk about it.
So I grew up hunting. My dad and granddad were big hunters. I remember going to my granddad's house, and he would have a map. He had a map on the wall of all of the lion and bear hunts that he went on, and so
Very cool.
he had a black dot for all of the bears that he killed and a red for all of the lions. But he was a big lion hunter, and so he had a lot of red dots on the wall and a lot of mounts. And so I guess I come by it honestly, but it's something that I've shared with my brothers, and that it's sort of an activity that I think that we all enjoy. And so I think that's what I like about hunting the most, is the time that I got to spend with family on our hunts. So the next question was the hunts that I've been on. So coos deer, elk hunts, mountain lion hunts, and mule deer hunts is most. Oh, and an antelope. I killed an antelope last year. In Arizona, I think antelope is twice in a lifetime. They say bighorn sheep is once in a lifetime tag, but I think antelope is about twice in a lifetime. So I was lucky to get one last year. It was pretty easy, actually. So
That's pretty cool. And maybe not lion meat, but who knows? Some of our serious hunters, maybe they eat that meat too. But you usually eat what you kill, right?
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah. I've always eaten what I kill. I actually have the lion backstraps from.
oh,
So I haven't tried it yet. So Ashley's sure not excited about that. But I think I'll smoke it. So we'll see. But yeah, all the elk meat.
you at least have to try it.
Yeah, I know. You have to say that you tried it. Maybe put it in a sausage. Anything's good in a sausage. Uh,
That's a good way to put it. What exactly is the backstrap? Because my farmer hunter last week, or actually 2 weeks ago now, he talked about backstraps, the bear, and also moose. So is that obviously just a cut of meat,
yeah,
and obviously maybe the back?
yeah. So it's on the loin area, down the back of the animal.
Okay.
You'll cut around the ribs, so there's no rib in, or no bone in the back strap.
Oh, okay.
And so it's the best part of the animal to eat, in my opinion. So that people take all of the animal for the most part, but the what they eat right off the bat is usually the back straps.
So cool. Thank you for those that are joining us live. Our series that we're doing, Arizona Farm Bureau's Talk to a Rancher, Talk to a Farmer Friday, this series is on hunting. And one of the things that strikes me about it, I have three brothers. You have two others, so there's three boys in your family. I'm the only girl. I have done a little bit of bird hunting. I actually really like to skeet shoot, trap shoot. I should participate in the YFNR trap shoot fundraiser, but I'm too intimidated to do it as a competition. But anyway, so that's about my length of hunting. But one thing I've noticed, it's actually hard to find a rancher or a farmer that has not hunted.
Yeah.
Why is there this clear weave through farming and ranching and hunting? I mean, maybe it's obvious, but I want to hear your take on it.
Well, I think it's a rural area thing. A lot of farmers and ranchers are in rural areas, and a lot of hunters are in rural areas too. I think it's sort of just part of growing up in the country. Um, I think the weave for me on the ranch is I see animals all day, every day on the ranch. So that if I see a big buck, then you can guarantee that I'm putting in for the unit that the ranch is in.
That's
So
perfect. So real quickly, Redneck Loman, hey, thanks for joining us. He said lion backstrap is some of the best table fare in Arizona. So you're definitely going to have to try it. Actually, maybe totally converted. And
yeah, I won't tell her what she's eating, but I'll cook it.
You better be careful. I think she's on the
Oh
show, on the
yeah.
line.
Oh well,
Oh,
secret's out.
darn, you gave it away. No. And then Kadam 148 said hunting for backstraps right now. Woohoo! I love it. This is so cool. So again, kind of pausing for station identification. I'm interviewing Ben Menges, a rancher in Southeast Arizona. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Yeah, a rancher in Southeast Arizona with his family, and Ashley, and they're both, he and his wife Ashley are very active, involved in Farm Bureau, very active in their leadership roles. You're president of Graham County, correct?
Yeah.
And Ashley is involved with Greenlee County, and all sorts of cool things. But we're doing this series on hunting. I can tell we've already got 2 hunters on the session. So here's the next question. Talk about that important relationship with hunters and ranchers and public lands. Let's imagine somebody wants to hunt and they're in your area. You mentioned that um, when you apply for a hunt, you're going to try to get in your region. Am I saying that
Yeah.
right?
You're
Because
gonna.
you would like to hunt on your ranch. But what about it? Let's say I'm a hunter and I know nothing about ag. What do you want to tell me about hunting on public lands and the whole issue, that symbiotic relationship between ranchers, the cattle, and hunters?
Well, public lands, on our public lands, we have a multiple use idea or doctrine. So hunters can use it, bird watchers can use it, ranchers have the grazing lease there. But it's the rancher that's providing the water for the livestock as well as all of the game. And so, in the upland areas, a lot of those places didn't have water, and the rancher has to, like on our ranch, we have over 100 miles of pipeline. So we're pumping water to all of these areas that there wasn't game beforehand, but now there is. And so
Awesome.
I think that's one of the points that I wanted to make, was that the rancher has contributed to the game herds more than any other group of people in our state. Outside of that, in order to access this land, you have to drive on a road, and most of the time it's the rancher that works the road. So he's out there fixing roads and creating access for hunters and everyone else to enjoy that land. And so those are a couple of the benefits that I think the rancher provides to the hunter.
Do most hunters you've ever worked with, are they respectful of the whole
Oh yeah.
multi-use? Good.
For the most part, most hunters are very respectful to the rancher, but there's a few. It's always the 1% that are that make a bad name for the others. At least in the mind of some ranchers, sometimes they'll shoot a water tank, which I have no idea why they would do that. But I've had neighbors that had their solar panels shot,
Ooh,
and
that's not
so they
good.
weren't able to pump water with them. Gates open is a big thing. Hunters, in hunting season, hunters leave a lot of gates open, or sometimes they'll cut fences. I had fences cut near Safford, and cattle were on the highway or on a paved road near Safford after they were cut. And so, there's there's a lot of things that hunters can do that aren't good, but for the most part, hunters are a vital part of the multiple use idea of public lands.
Awesome. So I'm going to repeat that because there's several people that have joined us live. Thank you for joining us live. Arizona Farm Bureau's Talk to a Rancher series is covering hunting for the next 3 months. And Ben Menges is my guest today. He's a hunter and a rancher and takes care of our public lands. One of the things I want to emphasize is that because of the water tanks, and I think you said 100 miles of pipe on your land, it's actually ended up reintroducing wildlife to your ranch, which is a good thing for our hunters. And it's telling me that infrastructure issues, and you guys are always the ones taking care of the roads that we all use and these multi-use public lands. So those two infrastructure issues, the water issue, the road issue, is one of the reasons why we are probably getting to hunt in places we might not be able to hunt if you weren't doing what you guys are doing in ranching?
Oh
Is that
yeah. Oh
okay?
yeah, I'd say that for
That's
sure.
awesome. And so I get to talk to the director of Arizona Game and Fish the last Friday in January, and I'm going to ask him to talk about some of those issues too, and kind of that symbiotic relationship and the multi-use relationship with the public
Great.
land. So that's way cool to hear that that's some of the things you do. We forget that. Even if we're out and about, we may not be thinking about what you have to do as a rancher to make sure your livestock, and then the multiple benefit is it helps the wildlife, which is so interesting to me.
One of the questions that you might ask him, or I don't know, it might be a little rhetorical, but when there's a drought, like right now, there's a big drought on our ranch. And when there's a drought, sometimes BLM and Forest Service will force the rancher to reduce their cow herd.
Mm.
So does my question is, what does Game and Fish have? Does Game and Fish do anything to reduce the elk or deer population? Mostly elk. You know, if you have 300 head of elk on your ranch, then you're not going to grow much grass, especially in the drought. So
Wow.
yeah, I've always wondered what if Game and Fish has to do anything to reduce the elk herd. So
I'm
anyway,
I'm very curious. I promise you I'll ask it. I may not get to ask it on camera, but I'll ask it like,
you
hey,
might be a
Director
little too
Finley.
contentious. Yeah, it's a little rhetorical because I don't think they do anything.
Right.
Um, but
Yeah.
they could sell a few more depredation hunts, you know, or
Right.
sell more tags.
Hey,
Yeah.
Arizona cattle growers, giving them props. They joined. We're talking about multi-use public lands and how that hunters benefit the wildlife because of the water you definitely have to bring for your cattle, and it's just going to be an automatic benefit to wildlife. The fact that you guys keep the roads up so the hunters have easy access in and out. And you mentioned, again, I'm kind of repeating some of this stuff for Arizona cattle growers. The other, you might have a few little detractors, but the majority of the hunters that you work with are awesome people and really appreciate what the ranchers are doing on behalf of wildlife, especially bringing water to them. So, what are what is like either one or maybe there's multiple hunts that were really exciting to you or memorable or an interesting
Uh,
story that you like to tell people?
so probably the most fun I've had hunting was on my birthday in 2017. I killed a bull elk. Um,
Oh, wow.
he was on a depredation hunt, so I didn't have to put in for a draw. So I just got to purchase a tag, and my dad and both of my brothers were there, and we killed him on opening morning. And so I just thought that that was probably the best hunt of my life. And so
That's
we
so
and we backed him out the next morning, and it was a very memorable experience. Outside of that, earlier this year in January, I killed a mountain lion. And you know, a mountain lion, they'll kill one animal a week, and so they could be just detrimental to your cow herd. And so,
yeah.
uh, about 7 lions a year, I would say, are killed on our ranch, and I try to fill my tag every year, and so I posted a video about it that kind of went viral. It was 2.5 million views, and so
Wow.
but I was packing the lion out on the horse, and so
That's
at
cool.
least
So did you get any detractors from the 2 million
oh
views?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my one of my brothers, all of them hunt, but there's one brother that really hunts, and he got a mountain lion. It was big. But I just, for those that have just recently joined us, one of those that's here with us live made the comment, the backstrap, did I say that right? Backstrap
Hmm.
meat of a mountain lion is some of the best wildlife meat you'll have. So that's pretty
I'm gonna
cool.
cook it with bacon, I guess.
Yeah,
I'll smoke it.
smoke it with bacon.
Smoke it with bacon, yeah.
Well, if you invite me, I'll try it.
Okay.
For one thing, I have to tell you, my mom did not let us be picky eaters, so we tried a lot of things. The only thing that we just couldn't cave to is liver, and she loved liver, so she would make liver. She would do the liver and then make us just regular hamburgers or something like that. So, what makes a good hunter from your
Oh
perspective?
gosh. Well, I don't pretend to be a good hunter, but the best hunters I know are the best glassers. And glassing is what we call looking through binoculars down across a canyon. One of the best glassers that I know is my brother. I remember one time he glassed up an ear just going like this, and it was at 1,600 yards.
Whoa!
And so that's almost a mile away. Um,
Wow.
so those, in Arizona, you know, we have big, deep canyons. It's not like hunting, you know, on a flat area. So we have to glass a long way. We have to shoot a long way, and there's a lot more to hunting than just being a good shot. Patterning uh, um, animals is a real skill. You know, people will go. At least before game cameras were outlawed, they would set up a camera at a water and then get where he was find a buck, and then they get a pattern of when that buck was coming into water. So every 3 days, every 4 days, that those people that figure that out, I think, takes a lot of time, and that makes a really good hunter. I have a friend that killed a really big buck by patterning one every 4 days. Um, Tracking, being able to track an animal, especially if you shoot it and it's not a good shot and the animal gets away, that a good hunter will follow that animal and not search for another one. So being able to track that animal down, I think, is a hallmark of a good hunter.
Those are good
Trying to
points.
think of the best hunters I know.
Redneck Lohman also said, because we brought up the, uh, you know,
Mesquite.
backstrap,
Yeah, mesquite
slow
smoked.
smoke over mesquite or pearwood. Man, I'm serious. I want to try that. Outline
Well,
me.
maybe I'll bring
You're
some for you on Monday.
okay. Do. I'll try it. All right. So we're getting a lot of people joining us, and just for station identification, I'm interviewing Southern Arizona rancher, Southeast Arizona rancher Ben Menges. He's also a hunter. This whole series, we're going to go all the way through the end of January and talk about hunting and how there's that symbiotic relationship, is like what I like to explain. It's that thread woven between farmer ranchers and hunting, and how significant and important it is. Alex Dobson, thanks for joining. She's a young farmer and rancher buddy with the Menges family, and the Dobsons and the Mengeses, they know how to do leadership. So this is fun. A great group of people here. But one final thing, I kind of want us to highlight one more time, especially for those that joined us early. And you gave some very neat counsel and insights on what makes a good hunter: the glassing, the patterning after a specific animal that you want to get, knowing how to track them if they don't die immediately. All these kind of things are so important in the hunting genre. What strikes me is how, you know, all the planning and the preparation and the plotting. And I think it's almost as much the experience as the actual getting the animal that you want. But for those that have just joined us, remind us one more time uh, the things that ranchers do to help wildlife here on public lands.
Oh yeah, so some of the examples I said was mostly water. Getting water in the upland areas in Arizona it was completely beneficial to the game herds of Arizona. And I don't think ranchers get enough credit. I guess I'm a little biased, but I don't think ranchers get enough credit for increasing the game herds in Arizona by developing waters on our public lands. And outside of that, it's maintaining the roads to give hunters access to the land. You know, hunters won't. good hunters won't hunt from the road, but they'll need a road to park and go and hike, and so they'll need access in that way. And so those were the main things. I think that it would be to Game and Fish's benefit to help ranchers out with the water systems of our state. And I think that maybe Game and Fish has a program that they're doing that, but you kind of have to trade access to your private land. If Game and Fish were able to maintain some of the waters in our state, I think they would benefit as well as the rancher. And so maybe
That's
that's
awesome.
something you could bring up here in the next week.
I'm going to have to do that too. I'll bring that up to Director Finley. Christy Wilson, one of our rock star nutritionists from Tucson, and a graduate of the University of Arizona, joined us, and so did Chaos Farmer. Both of those are regular participants. And Christy, in fact, was one of my guests one time. She's a rock star. She does awesome things. And I'm going to call her one of my ninja nutritionists. And Mitzi, I think it's Mitzi Hooper, I believe has joined us. Oh, and Annie McReynolds, my niece.
Oh,
Hi, Annie. I love this. She and her husband have a new little baby boy. And
cool.
yeah, just like you guys.
Yeah, same grade. They'll be
Who
in the same.
knows, maybe they're even the same age. I can't read it. Annie's going to have to post in the comments, hold. But anyway, I think we've covered all the questions. And Ben, this has been fascinating. Thank you so much for all you do for ranching, especially the infrastructure issues, so that all of us can enjoy our public lands, our wildlife can have water, and the hunters can use the roads because you guys grade them and keep them healthy and ready to go. So this is
Cool.
awesome. And be blessed. I'll see you next week. And excited. I hope you guys are bringing Ivy. Are you
Oh
going to
yeah, we
be?
are
Okay.
for sure.
Okay. All right. Blessings to you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Julie. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.